Hey guys, so I wanted to come and hang out and talk to you about the last 3 months, what I've been doing, why I was in New York for 3 months, and yeah. But first, let me show you what I'm wearing because I'm bad at showing my outfit. So this is my look of the day. Can you see me? Hold on, let me move you back. It's just my interpretation of casual. You still can't see me. Can you see my feet? You can see my day is winding down because I've already spilled food on me. But yeah, this is my look of the day. So I feel kind of spring. I feel backwards because it's fall. But I was in New York where fall is showing up, and I'm in Southern California, where it feels like the dead of summer. But I'm just transitioning, even though, because it gets cool here, but it's not cool yet. So I kept it cute. So like this cream kind of feels like a winter white. I threw on this little pullover off the shoulder. It's made of sweatshirt. It's like it's sweatshirt material. I don't know if I'm washed out. Let me see. Sometimes it's up too bright. So it's like a sweatshirt material. And then, oh, you could probably see better. And then I have these little furry slides. I've shown it to you guys before, maybe on stories on socials. It is by Steve Madden. And of course, I left them here because it was hot in New York City. So here, these are. I don't know if they're still on sale. I would imagine so. They weren't very pricey. I think they were under $100. If you can still find them, they came in two colors. The color I wanted originally was a little lighter, kind of like a golden blonde. But that was out of my size, and I went with these, and I've been very happy ever since. And this allows me to give it a little bit of a fall vibe, right? Because one, it's a slide, but the color, and it's like this faux fur, and the sweatshirt, and then the cream skirt. I'm tired of, I wore black so much during the summer while I was in New York. I still pulled it off, but it was just so much black, and I missed other things from my closet. So this is my look for today, which is, by the way, winding down. So let me put everything back in place. Hold on. Now, let's get you back here a little closer so that we can chit chat and find out where have I been. Hold on. All this is, I'm gonna show all this behind. Uh-oh. What did I do? I have no clue. I hope it works. Let's see. Let's add just a little more light. I don't want to wash this out. I can't stand looking at that. Okay, so here we are. So, my daughter graduated in May in New York. She got her bachelor's degree. And we knew she was going to grad school the following fall. So while I was there were so many things going on and so many things moving her to her apartment, her next apartment, that was, I don't know, they were just things that needed to be taken care of. And the only way I could think to take care of it and help her was go there to do it, which, yeah, I needed to get a job, something I hadn't been able to do here in Southern California. And I needed a break from Southern California and my household. And so it wasn't until deep into the summer, towards the end, where I realized I think I ran away from home because so much was happening during that trip. First of all, I arrived back in New York after, so she graduated in May. Well, my husband and I were there for a week after graduation, getting her moved in, situated, and so forth. I went back. There were some things that she still needed some help with, and it was easier for me to go there and help her. The prospects of a little job for the summer were great, and I missed home. I'm from New York. I grew up in New York. That's where I spent my childhood. My summer months were spent in New Bern, North Carolina, with my mother's family. My mother and father are from North Carolina, but I grew up in New York. My parents were married briefly, And my dad was in the Navy, and he docked in New York in the Hudson, in the Hudson River. The Navy boat ship came in, and that's where, when we needed to see him, he'd get off the boat there and we go home, or the ship, and we go home. So yeah, I grew up in New York. Now, I needed to get back to something, and I didn't know what that something was. I just knew something I need to get back to. I felt like it was New York. Most of my childhood, I didn't refer to it as home. I avoided it because I was a latchkey kid, and I was the only child, and I was lonely. And I grew up privileged, if you will. I say privileged, I'm born in the 60s, growing up in the 70s and 80s in New York City. And that definition is relative, right? But based on that timeline and based on the average little black girls in my age group and other little girls, yeah. The difference was my parents were so young, they worked like crazy. And I had to maneuver about the city of New York by myself. Now, for school and dance and piano and vocal lessons, all the things my mother kept me in. But I had a pretty full, amazing life. I rode the subway to school, but that's the only time I was on the subway. Whenever anything else in my life went on, I was in a car. My parents would have a car. They'd pull out of storage, wherever, from the magic place. You know, you're a kid, you don't know where the car is coming from. My mother did amazing, fun things. She was chic. She and her girlfriends, they reminded me of Sex and the City, black women, or girlfriends. They were amazing. And they were young, very young. And I was like the other girlfriend. They nicknamed me Gwen Girl. That's my nickname to this day. Whenever I get to New York, I'm Gwen Girl. Whenever I'm in North Carolina, I'm Gwenny Pooh. It's very funny. So I didn't know how much of that I had forgotten or suppressed or pushed to the side or not paid attention to, but it shaped me. And so much has transpired over the last 25 years. And then prior to that, I'm a mother of 4 grown-up children. My oldest son is 36, 37. I don't know how old he is. And I've been taking care of everybody since then. Doing a pretty good job of taking care of myself too. But there's a period of time in the last 25 years where I had gotten so far off track. And when my daughter needed help, I did that thing that comes natural. I jumped into motion and went toward her. It was for me too. And New York, where I grew up, seemed to be just the recipe I needed to just kind of remind me, girl, you're home. And you need to stick around. And we're going to make sure you stick around. Because, guys, like I said, I landed June 9th. I remember it well. My middle son's birthday is June 5th. I didn't leave on his birthday. I left a few days later. I landed in New York June 9th in the evening. I took a cab, because I'm a yellow cab girl. I took a cab from the airport to my daughter's apartment, got out with all my luggage, did whatever I need to do in the back of the cab with my card, put my card back in my wallet, thinking, it's dark, thinking I put my wallet in my carry-on bag, my purse, and did not hear or see it, left it in the back seat of the cab. Yeah. When I realized it was after I got situated, my daughter and I went to get something to eat. I couldn't find my wallet. So I thought, now I'm out and about thinking my wallet is in my purse. We get back to our apartment. I take things apart. It's not there. Next thing, I'm tearing things apart. I'm in tears. I am so emotionally upset that I'm not rational. I'm rational, but I'm not finding a solution. I'm not out of control, but I'm heartbroken and not broken. I felt reckless and careless. And I don't think I've ever done anything like that. And it just felt bad. I had keepsakes in there of my babies from years. I had so many things in there. You don't even realize how many things. Broke my heart. The wallet itself was a wallet my daughter gave me for Mother's Day about 2-3 years ago. Broke my heart. I had to get over that. I had to get into motion. I did all the things to try to investigate, see if the yellow cab, but someone he picked up afterwards got a hold of my wallet, tried to use everything. I'd already shut it off. So, you know, the banks and my credit card folks told me that they already attempted to use it. And so I knew it was gone. So then I order my driver's license. My credit cards and all that were underway. In fact, within a week, I got a few of my bank cards back with new numbers, and then the other cards were underway, but I got them all digital on my phone. All the things. New York got involved investigating. We had to accept the wallet was gone. And I was fine. I was like, just give me the license and the keepsakes. The cards don't work. I wanted my driver's license and my keepsakes back. No. So I ordered my driver's license online from California to be delivered to my address here. My husband picked it, took it, got it out of the mail, mailed it to me. Regular mail, you know. Never showed up. Do you know, it was so funny, the day or two before I left to come back, which was September 22nd, from June to September, I still checked the mail to see if for some goofy, fluky reason my first driver's license that I ordered was in the mail. Of course it wasn't. So it took another, I don't know how long. When we realized it wasn't coming, it was probably like 30 days later. We still were not accepting that the license wasn't coming. So I reordered it, and it showed up in the mail 7-9 days later here in California. My husband was not able to retrieve the mail because he was on fires. California is always on fire. So he was away dealing with fires. And so the driver's license sat in the mailbox. Then when he finally got it, it sat, whatever. A whole summer passed. I walked around the streets of New York with no ID. It was the weirdest thing. I still got a job because I had a photograph of it. I had digital picture. It was like God said, Gwen, you can't fly back, so you might as well make the best of it. You don't have any ID. You can't get on a plane. That was the start of my summer, and a blessing. And not even a blessing in disguise. I think even as it was happening, I felt God was saying, nope, we're going to stick this out. You're going to stay here. You're going to figure some things out. You're not heading right back. Yeah. So that's how I wound up doing 3 months in New York City. Now, my daughter's apartment is cute. We had our good times. We had our little bit of rough times together. She's an adult. And though we adore each other, there were moments where she just was like, oh my God, my mom's here. I went to work. She went to work. We did so many things. I was busy. She had her stuff going on. I found my things. I had family there, but I didn't get in touch with them. I don't think anyone has any bad blood. My husband has family there. I have family there. Everybody knew I was there, but I was busy. It didn't seem to be an issue. Like, I didn't hear anyone griping or wondering where I was or why I didn't say it. It was just like God hushed everyone and everything because I needed to focus and he needed to deal with me. And lots of tears, but good cleansing tears. It was like he was reminding me of my worth, my value, my background, my history, all the things I knew and still was aware of, but wasn't functioning, operating in. It was a lot. And it was good. And even as it was happening and he was pointing things out and showing me and shaking me, I was relieved. It was like I needed to be relieved. I needed permission again. And I never thought I did. You don't think about those things. It was like, you're okay. Everybody else is going to be okay. You are getting up there in age. There are things for you to do. These things you love and desire are on your heart because God said, because I put them there. It's not a fluke. It's not because you're a dreamer or you're just a wannabe or you're shallow or whatever the things you may have heard, those tricks of words that are meant to harm. It's because I've designed you to do these things. I need you to get to it. Trust me. It's like he said, remember, trust me. And that's all I've been doing. So Yeah, I slept on an air mattress. My body said, no, no, no. After a while, my body was like, girl. Then I stood on my feet first 8 hours a day working at Nordstrom's retail, the flagship store. My body's like, And then I had to walk everywhere. My body was like, what are you doing? And then to go back and rest at my daughter's place and sleep, that sore body is laying on an air mattress. So all these things contributed to an achy body. And so I'm healing. It's taking a little time. I'm not bouncing back that quick anymore because I'm in my 50s and apparently your body doesn't do that. But I'm getting back on track with taking care of myself the way I used to, the way I enjoy. So I have lots of pictures. I went to June. My daughter had a showing with Juneteenth. She had little get-togethers and gatherings, but when I looked up, I had a lot of things. I had places to go, people to see, things to do, revolving around fashion. You know, I had events, I had showings, I had presentations, I had things. I was being told about events and several things off calendar, but leading to Fashion Week in New York City. I had a couple of little things to do for Fashion Week. Oh my gosh. I mean, I had a good time. And New York is, you know, for those of you who've never been there, New York is a city, once you walk outside, even before you get outside, your window is letting you know that the city is alive outside. We woke up, I would wake up, and the city it pulls you, I feel. It pulls you to get outside. Even if you need to go run an errand up the street to the corner to the bodega, you gotta go walk. And when you get outside, there's so much energy that's just moving and just a rhythm. And it just reminded me of my childhood and who I am. And I would never own it. In fact, to the point where folks would just complain when I said where I was from. It was as if it irritated them. Even my children, they were moans, well, my boys, they were like, Mom, you're not from New York. Or I just thought, what's wrong with you? Why are you having a problem with this? What do you think of New York? I get it is an impressive place. I've taken them to New York, but I don't know what it is for them that bothers them. It's already been made clear that this is where your mom is from. Even their father will tell them, yes, your mom's from New York. But it was weird how they feel. I guess it was just New York is so grand, you can't be from there. You can't be these things. It's so much to process. Even though I know they love and adore me and want these things for me, they were struggling. It did not meet or match whatever their ideals are about who I am. And I probably didn't help either because I had lost touch. But I'm back on track. So I had to come back to Los Angeles. My house is completely packed. 98%. Except the furniture that needs to be broken down. There's most of my closets and boxes and wardrobes. I had to take some things out so I can function. I took a few things out of the kitchen. The kitchen is packed. I'm ready to go. And if I didn't know before, I know now. I came back and it's like my life came to a screeching halt. So that energy you feel, that energy everyone feels in New York, whether you like it or not, whether it's too much, where it's just agitating, whether it turns you on, whatever it does to you, whatever that is that people feel in New York. Once you leave it in any other state within the United States, night and day. Even when I'm gone, when I left the States, nowhere compares like New York. And I think I've been chasing the feeling of what I grew up with ever since I left, especially once I became an adult. So I always like to live in a major city, but in the suburb. I just need the major city nearby. And so I've done that with Dallas. I lived outside of Dallas. I've done that with Portland, Oregon. There was a time I lived in Portland, but I always lived mostly on the outside of it. I've done that with, well, Vancouver is, to me, a suburb of Portland, Oregon. Vancouver, Washington. Tallahassee, it's little Tallahassee. There's no big city. That time there, I was like, oh, please get us out of here. We moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I never lived inside Atlanta. I lived outside of it in Gwinnett County. I opened up 2 locations of a boutique, not at the same time. And then We left there, went to Dallas, went back to Dallas. I lived in Frisco, McKinney. Left there, went to DC, just went through the summer. We couldn't figure it out, couldn't make it fit. Wound up in Philadelphia, which is my husband's hometown. I was in Philly for a few minutes, but we wound up finding a place outside of Philly in one of the suburbs, Norriton or Norristown. Went back to Georgia for a few minutes with my husband's job because now we're being relocated back to the West Coast. So we wound up in Reno, Nevada. And then left Reno because my daughter kept being booked and needing jobs and needing to be there. And we were running back and forth between Reno and LA for stuff. And so we get to Los Angeles. I'm thinking, oh, we can settle down here. Los Angeles is right there. We live currently outside of Los Angeles. When we leave, I'll tell you where. When I leave California, I'll tell you what part. But yeah. California is nice. California has a personality like everywhere. There's a characteristic about California. There's a certain kind of community. And I just found out, I guess I'm not that girl. My daughter does not want to ever come back. I don't even know if she wants to come back to visit. She's not trying to move back to California. So yeah, it's time to go. So I'm here with a realtor in New York looking for properties. We went looking at a couple of houses about 2 weeks or so before I flew back. And she has a real good sense of what I'm looking for. My daughter and I enjoyed it. And my daughter, she said, when we got there, the yard was serene. It was too far. The house needed a lot of work, but otherwise it was sound, like most homes in New York. And it was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. And she was glad to be outside the city. And she said, I'm looking forward to you moving back home so that when I need to escape the city on a day-to-day basis, I can just jump on the path or train or whatever it is to come home and just sit in the yard, you know, sit around the snow or whatever the season is. And I get that. I get that. A major city nearby. That is what I've been trying to mimic. Living in the suburb or living outside of the city. But when I need to go to the city, a major city, New York is right there. And I've been trying to do that with every state I've ever lived in because I'm trying to mimic what I want to do and how I want to live again in New York. And didn't even dawn on me because I had talked myself into having a problem with New York because as a little girl, I was alone. I had no siblings. My parents worked. My mother groomed me beautifully. I was always in the latest. I lived in beautiful neighborhoods. I went to grade schools. I went to PS 75, Emily Dickinson. Until 8th grade. I just had this gorgeous life. I traveled sometimes by myself. My mother would put me on a plane. I would go into North Carolina and spend the summer there. She traveled me all over the place. We had home in Orlando, Florida. That's what I've been trying to get back to. And when I got back there, I was like, oh. And of course, New York is different than it was in the 70s and the 80s. It's a new New York. Like Hell's Kitchen is not Hell's Kitchen anymore. It is so different. So much of the city, high shops are in place. 42nd Street is not 42nd Street anymore. It's not the 42nd Street I grew up with. But it's still New York. Don't get it twisted. But it's home. And it felt like home. And it didn't intimidate me. It didn't bother me. It didn't worry me. I just instantly, there were moments that said, hi, Gwen. Like big girl Gwen. Like there were streets I remember being on. I remember my daughter took me back to my school and I was like, oh, and I remembered where everything was, just muscle memory. And she was like, how do you, what, you know? Yeah, that's what I've been trying to get back to. And I think part of the reason why I've been avoiding it is because trying not to hurt people's feelings, trying to make sure it's convenient for others, trying to shrink so that it's okay, scared to be great, scared to be big, scared to succeed, and not even knowing that's what it is. Scared to shine bright because you know, oftentimes you've set yourself up as one personality and people believe that personality. And when they find out there's more to you, it seems to irritate them, rightfully so. It's like, wait, what? And then they don't know how to deal with that person. They don't know what to do with you. They wouldn't have chosen you probably, or they wouldn't have hung out with you probably, because it's more than they really want to deal with or face or acknowledge, right? Maybe I shrunk myself or conformed myself to fit into their or whomever's environment. And my children struggled with, at least the boys, because it's like my daughter knew, she understood she was a girl the way we talked, and I was older and I was braver while she was growing up. And she's a girl, so I was naturally pouring myself into her too. But yeah, I was like worried that I would be alone and have no one again, because if they knew. And then as a child, there were times when friends would come to my home and they would go back to school and it would be a mess. I remember when the Cosby Show did an episode of that, when Vanessa had some girlfriends over for whatever gathering party she was having, and they were asking about paintings, and she innocently talked about the painting. I think she even mentioned the price of one. And when she went back to school, she was being teased and taunted and being called rich girl and getting in a fight and all that. When people come to see you at your home, it should tell a lot about you. And as a child, that happened to me a lot. And then I remember it happened to my daughter a lot. And I think as a child, you don't know that when it shapes you that way, you take it into your adult life and you don't know you're doing it because you figured, oh, you were a kid. You don't realize it shapes the way you handle things. And I think that's what I was doing, and not think I know. So it's like, oh, will they be with, and it's like, if they don't, if they're not, if you lose friends and all these other things, it's okay. You probably didn't have it anyway. If they don't like you and find out there's more to you, that's good, and they're uncomfortable, you might have to let them go. Weird as it feels and sounds, you kind of have to, let's just move on, because God always replaces it with better, with more, with what you need, right? So that's what I've been doing for the summer. So I'm going to do a little quick collage just to kind of show you all the visuals and all the outfits and all the places and all the events. But yeah, that was my summer. This summer, the summer of 2025, when I ran away from home just to find myself back at home, connected back to myself, a much, 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 much older version of that little girl Gwen, with all the confusion and misconceptions and misunderstandings, with all the list of great things that she was given to use that she shrunk or hid because she was scared that it would be too much for those that she chose. I went back home. And I'm never going to forget or confuse it again. I'm so grateful to the life God has given me. I'm so, so grateful. It has been rich. I mean, rich. My mother tells me all the time, you need to write a book. She's a big part of it. She's like, you really need to write a book. And I've been told that before from an old girlfriend that I'm no longer acquainted with. She would say, you need to write a memoir. I'm not in a hurry to do that, but I feel more connected every day. And I'm so grateful that I have God in my life. I always have, but oh, the talks he and I have had. My God, my Father, my Lord, my Savior. Oh my God, and the Holy Spirit translating for me. So thanks for hearing me out. Anyone that can relate, leave me a comment. Us girls, we get into our big girl ages and we have wake-up calls that we didn't see coming. We have reminders. And oftentimes the wake-up calls are good ones. They're not bad. At least that's the way I feel about mine. So I'm in California. We're trying to figure out what to do. I'm not sure yet how it's going to play out. My husband's a federal employee. He's essential. And we're in furlough. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to keep recording and keep posting, and I hope you guys enjoy this. And I hope it gives you a little insight into who I am too. Full, live in color, no more shrinking. I love a lot of cool things, and I'm hoping to find my friends here, my community, my tribe, and we can all talk about it and share. All right? Okay. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. So, wow, I'm loving my makeup. This is the LYS foundation stick. It is a multi-dual thing. It is a multi-user type stick. It is a primer. It blurs. It is a tint. It is foundation. Hunting. I'm wearing beach shorts. That's my shade. I only put foundation and makeup on from right here. I just go right above the 6. I keep all foundations off of here. The only thing on my forehead are moisturizers, serums, primer to help with some sweat, and anything good and nourishing. But I keep everything right. Trousers and things. I just work my way around the side of my face. I want it to here. I focus it on some things that I'm above my lips, stuff on my chin. Only a little bit bronzer around my jawline for the most part. I don't even know. Did I photograph? No. I have to get a new foundation because my winter foundation was reminding me it's the summertime and I'm outside more this time. It's been a while since I bought a foundation for the summer because I haven't done anything, guys. What? Oh, we got one life to live. Make sure you go outside. So she's still looking at someone else is making things more important. I won't even feel that. It's been years since I bought 2 foundations a year. Oh, the winter. My daughter and I were split at the door. So when my foundation started to fade, and I was like, "What's happening?" He was like, "Your skin tone got some color." LYS means after. Love yourself. The price points are a beautiful shop. $25. We just, I don't know. And then before I knew it, this was like, so go support. So we started talking about our beautiful. I still have some inventory left over. Make it happen. I love it. Love it. Was supposed to blur and last and have no primer in it. Plus, I still put primer. What primer did I use today? Hourglass primer. I got a little sample at Sephora. Use Hourglass. Okay, I'm dressed. I'm on my way to the interview. Wish me well. I love this dress. How many times have you guys seen this dress? I still have a few sale, although they're not on me. And how many times have I worn it? And the hair changes the entire look. Somewhere else to put you so I can get a better shot. It's amazing. You change the hair, the same outfit looks completely different. That's why I love fashion. Okay, this is. I'm trying to eat a croissant. This one is so flaky. It's supposed to be clean and healthy, but I don't know how you make a croissant flaky like this without a lot of butter. You gotta be careful with marketing. I'm trying to get back on track. Okay, I put my hair behind my hairline. I don't care that it's miscolored. I don't care that it's gray. There's so many great things in New York, and I'm used to my big forehead. They're delicious, but they're not. Down just feels like I'm made with the best hands. This way, it just feels like. Anyway, New York is a big city. Okay. New York City, and it looks good on me. And now I like it. Nothing's changed from my childhood to my teenage years, but yet, because I'm digging this for the summer, guys. My hair is brown, but it's a dull brown. This has got a little more red in it. One of the things I have to stop doing, I'm instantly transported back to my childhood hair. Lace hair on Instagram. I have to remind myself I can go here. This one can go there. And it has the lace. I was on such a strict it disappears, but it doesn't. My mother had fabric, and I don't like it. Was a different time. I know there's. I was a latchkey kid, so and she had to know I was safe and I was in the right spaces. And I lived very well in it. I lived one big spot. So when I think about it over the years, I realize it has pockets. As I lived all over the place. Hold on. And I literally lived in most of the major cities here in the United States. I realized so much about my upbringing. I used to be mad about the fact that I was work. That was from New York. I was mad about it. And as for older, I struggled with not like, I struggled with where I was from. Where I belong. I struggled with it. And that was North Carolina, but I was only there 6 weeks, 8 weeks out of the year. Every now and then, I got to do a school year, but hey guys, so I'm about to head out. Guys, and so let's check out the airport what I got. So I'm so excited, Monty, and I shot most of them then, and I did more at the first one, first location. That I have overflows, I have I have mint from water, and I have my there's Lego too. I've already sliced it, and I'm find and that row, that second location is like 3 to 5. Lots of purses, shoes, so much good stuff, so much good stuff. When I was a child, I traveled all the time by myself, every 9 months between New York and North Carolina, and I flew on Piedmont Airline and American from New York to North Carolina. And I remember the day when your grandmother could send you with fried chicken on the plane. Of course, my stepfather always ordered me a healthy meal because I sat in first class. So he always custom ordered a meal for me, but those days are so gone. They don't serve you those meals really, not on the average American Airlines. I've been out hunting USA because of 9/11. We lost the privilege to bring I was getting discouraged. So